Okay, Coronavirus Summers. So, we've only got a couple of videos left in the chapter. If you've managed to stay with me this long, thank you. If you've jumped in halfway between any of these things, like I say, go back and follow the timeline. There's a train of thought, information from the others injects into others. And after that little rant on our last couple of questions, I'm moving forwards because we're asking this question now. Well, I say a question, it's more of a lesson on perspective. Because perspective is always something you should teach, and it's intricate to what I just spoke about earlier with the media and the government and their way of filtering stuff, and social media filtering as well. So, lesson on perspective. Way more I'm going to do on this later on in the future. Perspective, philosophy, psychology, all intertwined. Nevertheless, let's just get straight into it because it's going to be about this, and then things are going to get nice and smiley. So, this is what I call the binoculars concept. Can you see the binoculars? Can you see the binoculars through the very bright TV? Okay. So I call this binoculars concept, and I think it's a very good concept to this subject that we're talking about with coronavirus, but just generally in life. So, the binoculars concept, what does it mean? Well, the binoculars concept has a bad, good, and great focus, and they all intertwine into a philosophy. Here we go. So, the binoculars concept, imagine you're standing there far away from something, and you've got your binoculars out, and you're having a look at your binoculars at any given situation, anything that's going on. Here we are. So first of all, the binoculars concept teaches us that a focused perspective can be bad. Why? Well, because if we focus on one thing specifically, we can miss, like if you've got binoculars and you're looking straight into something, you're missing the bigger picture. You can't see everything else if you're just looking through these binoculars at one particular thing. Right? And so you can end up missing the bigger picture. And what that references is the rabbit hole. So you heard me earlier in a couple of videos talking about how people get lost down the rabbit hole, down conspiracies, where we start not talking about the factual points of 5G and the New World Order, but instead we push off into conversations about lizards and about setting 5G towers on fire. And so people can get lost down that when they've got that narrow point of view and forget to look at anything else. They just sort of zoom in on one thing. And people do this a lot. It is pretty much the fundamental cause and effect of media, the news, just generally life. You know, we get a lot of tunnel vision. And so it's bad, as I say, because we focus on one thing and miss the picture. But it can be good, binoculars concept. Why? Because if you've got our binoculars, even though we're not able to see anything else, it means with binoculars, we can focus on details. So when we're far away from a situation and we're looking in, if we have our binoculars, we're focusing on details in particular issues, right? So imagine you've got your metaphorical picture in front of you. You're able to see things intricately because we're taking a small portion of something and we're detailing it. And that's how we end up making independent observations and doing our research. As I've always said, research at the source. Don't just believe what you're told by anything or anybody. Fact check. Separate the facts from the opinions, right? And that's where the idea of the good side of binoculars concept comes in. Because we can focus in on those particular issues. And it helps us separate what we need to learn, and also helps it's generally the concept that's behind people coming up with such striking thesis and such profound thoughts, because they're the ones that are able to just zero in on something, pick it apart and put it back together in a way that only comes from an individual perspective. But why is the binoculars concept great? Well, because the analogy is this, and this is what separates it from any other analogy. Binoculars mean you have to be far away, right? Because we're zooming in from far away. And what's good about being far away? Well, when you're far away from any given situation, you have the best perspective, in my opinion. Now, of course, sometimes in a situation, you're going to find yourself smack bang in the middle of it. You can't help it. You'll be at the epicenter. Sometimes you are the epicenter. It's happened. We've seen people become the forefront of just something, and you know, things blow up left, right, and center, and it's very hard to know what people think, and you get lost inside the mist. But when you're looking from far away, you can be impartial to the situation. And why? Well, because if you're far away from it, you have an opportunity to see a bigger picture. And how do you do that? Well, basically, the word we're looking for is infrequent. And this is the best way for me. When you have a situation that you want to learn from, but not necessarily participate in, which is always the wisest one for situations that we can afford to do that with. We can be infrequent with them, and being infrequent means you have time to get involved, have a look, but then draw back and reflect. And that more of that infrequent move that you can make, the better you're going to learn, and the more you're going to see that perhaps others can't. Because if you're in for it too long, you might get caught in the emotional ride. You might get caught in the one voice narrative, which is always a danger. When we see a bunch of people say the same thing, we just assume that it's true. Or if you're too far out of it, you might miss something. And so having that further perspective with those binoculars is going to let us be out of it, but we can just sort of, zoom in on something we want to, but then also, we're coming away from binoculars, we're having a look, we're checking to see what's going on. Have we seen the whole picture? Hold on, let me just, keep this binoculars here while I just think about this, and this, and then I go back in my binoculars, I look and go, and so it's that healthy approach. And that's why I say that the binoculars concept is a lesson on perspective. Because it has points to it, bad points, good points, and great points. But overall, it's a good little analogy, I think is the word I'm looking for. I hope that's the right word. For explaining just a general way to utilize perspective and to use it reasonably, whereby you won't get caught in the mist and you'll have the best chance of having the best perspective. It won't always work. It's not a sword and tried method. No one's ever going to get everything right, which is what I said about David Icke in a previous video. I don't believe in lizards like he does, or he did. He might not even believe in it now. No one's even bothered to speak to him about it, I'm sure. But whether he did or didn't, people can have 30 right things and one wrong. We are not perfect as human beings. People are allowed to have wrong perspectives. People are allowed to have misguided perspectives. Sometimes their perspectives are right and we don't know it yet. So just take the time to educate yourself on your own perspective and take everything with a pinch of salt. And how do we follow it? Well, tune in to the next video. I think 7 minutes. Actually, nope. Let's do it now. Let's do it. All right. You can't see this, but I'm going to bring you up to the TV now. You get to see the TV because the TV will adjust as we get closer. Can you see that? Is that adjusting well? There we go. That is a beautiful picture that I found. More of my pictures are starting to resolute. One small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. My dears, I can't believe how much of a fitting picture was that was to find, because it's such a great saying. And it really is. The power of positive thought does wondrous things. It doesn't just heal your mind, it heals your body. Don't let anybody tell you different. People get better from illnesses with positive thought. I believe that includes coronavirus too. Immune systems are tied to our emotions. I have had it firsthand where I have been sick because I kept stress inside. How do I know? I was very young and I spoke about an issue that had been trapped up inside me whilst walking to the doctors because I was sick. As I was talking about it, I got better. I kid you not. It's there. I've seen too much on it to doubt it now. And that really is the case. And so positive moves. Let's talk about positive moves. Give me a second. While I pull out my water bottle and have a drink. It's squeaky. This is my cup of water bottle. For me, it's my positive move. It was me taking the initiative to study a better way that I could consume liquids or consume water. I started researching copper. I have loads to tell you about copper. I won't do it now, but that's for me. Example for my own positive move. So let's go through. Positive moves. Okay, so infrequent positive social media. What have I been doing? Go on my Twitter. My Twitter is about. I'm about to show you my Twitter in probably the next video because I won't keep this one too long. they'll always be in the description though, I suppose. So yeah, in the description. What I've been doing is I've been tweeting every single morning. I've been tweeting what I showed you in the other video, which was the rates of coronavirus, with emphasis on the positive and emphasis on my 5 golden rules, which I'll cover in a second, just to inject positivity into people. I've always been about positivity. Anybody who used to know me would know that I was irrationally happy. That wasn't fake. That's always how I've been. I've always been about trying to spread positivity around people, which has been a challenge for me because I've not always been a genuinely positive person. I am by trait, but not by feeling. I've had some very devastating things happen to me, and so even in the darkest hours, we can find a way to bring smile onto our faces. I hate my smile, but I'm gonna keep smiling at you because if I smile at you, there might be a chance you smile back. Why not? Infrequent positive social media. Why not avoid social media addiction, internet addiction, by not being on it all the time, but just jump online, say something nice. Jump online, show something nice. If you want to, if you feel safe enough, because social media, internet guidelines, there's tons of stuff that come with the T's and C's. But why not? Why not do what I do, if you want, and get yourself a Sam? What do I mean by get yourself a Sam? Get yourself a Sam. This is Sam, guys. And Sam might have been seen... Sorry, I'll hold that up just a bit longer so you can see that. Sam might have been seen by people around my area because me and Sam went on a mission. Basically, I love music. I do music. More on that in the far future. Well, the near future, but kind of far if you think about it. So, me and Sam went around because I love music and I have my earphones in all the time, part of my social perspective on mental health. And I, every now and again, like to spread the love. So when I was out one day, I wanted to just, sort of, long story, but I was out and I was far. And I turned my music on. And I brought Sam out to go with me. And I have my little playlist. Now, I am very socially aware of my music. I don't like to play music with profanity around children. And also, I like to play music that, generally speaking, sets the tone of how I want my day to go. And I realised everyone was stressed. So I thought to myself, why don't I download some chill hop and carry on? Now, the initial chill hop that I downloaded, which was from Aroto, Aroto. I pray that I'm saying that right, Aroto or Aroto. But either way, he did a chill hop mix. The jazz hop ones I love as well, so I had a jazz hop mix. I downloaded them too, and I carried on. And basically, I had to come back on a bus, and I was playing my my jazz hop mix as I was before I was getting on the bus, and a couple of people were waiting by the bus stop. And I got on the bus, and as I was getting on the bus, the bus, like, I went to turn down my music because obviously, I'm on a bus now. People might not want to hear the music, even though it is, relaxing jazz hop instrumentals. And the bus driver was banging on his window. And so I was in the process of turning it down. I went, gave him the hand signal, like, okay, cool. And turned it down. And then I went to climb the stairs, and he banged even louder. And I thought I was in trouble. So I went over to him and I said, yeah. And he said, because he was trying to say something over me turning down my music, so I thought he was saying to turn it down, but he actually said no. He actually said, I don't say this often, but I was trying to tell you to turn it up and sit downstairs if you can. And to my amazement, the people that were getting on behind me who had been standing at the bus stop also agreed. As it turned out, he was so happy to hear my music because it was so chill and relaxing. He wanted to be near it, and he wanted me to play it as loud as I could. Now, bearing in mind that should have been fine because this was later on in the day, and there was only 5 or 6 people on the bus, so it wasn't even a lot. It wasn't too much to ask. Sorry, for people, but the fact that people were getting the warmth of it. I played my music on that bus ride, that 50-minute bus ride, and he drove ever so slow, and we all just relaxed listening to my music. And, it was just so beautiful that I could spread that positivity and that relaxation to everybody, including that bus driver who probably works so hard, because these bus drivers, you got to understand, these bus drivers have been stretched. So many bus drivers have been sick that so many more have had to just cover loads of shifts, and they're going up and down constantly, and most of them probably are barely getting anybody coming on the bus, and I have to be also are risking becoming sick as well. Remember that, because if anyone's going to spread an infection anyway, it's going to be on public transport. And it was just great that I could spread that, me and Sam could. And then what happened was a couple of days ago, not long ago, sorry, I had, let's just say, a deeper day. And so I took this out. Me and Sam went out to the fields down by my area to sit in the park for a bit. Did the exact same thing. I just played my music, didn't think anything of it. But then all of a sudden, I found that people, obviously not next to me because they were trying to, they were trying to self-isolate, but they were, a good few feet nearby for a few people. And then they'd sort of stop for a bit, just listen to the music, or they'd be around nearby and they'd just sort of vibe off it. And then somebody started playing cricket, I think, or tennis or something, like a very quick thing. They weren't there long because of social isolation and the lack of exercise, but, it happened on 2 different occasions. I was just sitting there playing my music, reading my book is what I was doing. I wasn't just staring at, everybody weirdly, because that's not me. I was reading my book, which, if you're wondering, is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. But yeah, I was playing my music, listening to my book, and it was just nice to be able to spread that joy. Obviously, I wasn't staring at everyone every time, but I could see that people were stopping intentionally to be there. I sat by a bridge the other day on a riverbank, and people were just stopping on the bridge to relax to the music with their children, just passing by, and they'd stop on this bridge, like far away from me, but just listening to it, and I just being able to see people's warm surprise when they see that you're being you're spreading that joy. That's me and Sam, which, by the way, if you're wondering why it's called Sam, it's because the first 3 letters are SMA, and Sam knows. The Sam I'm talking about, he knows about SMAM. And he also knows about Tinks. There's some codes for you. I'm not going to go any further. Is that the same thing? I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, no, it is. Okay, so, moving forwards. Nice conversations. Positive moves. Start off a nice conversation with somebody. You don't have to be next to them. Just have a nice conversation with them across the road. Nice conversations on the phone. Give someone a phone call. Have a chat. Catch up. See how they're doing. FaceTime. This is what the good part of social media was meant to be about. They are right about at least one thing. Strengthen that immune system. I should have said it with more gusto. Strengthen that immune system. Lockdown Health. Just watch Lockdown Health. I'm not even going to go into it and waste too much time on it. Watch Lockdown Health on how to strengthen your immune system. More on that to come. I will go into that as a lifestyle choice on this or another channel. Stay informed in doses. I have a rule. It is a rule that me and a certain bedouin, who shall not be named for confidentiality reasons, we both follow this mantra, a mantra that I came up with, which we both decided to coin together. Follow the facts, but respect the opinions. That's how we do everything around here. You want to have an issue, going back to our other video, the other video because we did it in this one, on the binoculars concept and perspective advice, follow the facts, but respect the opinions. That's what we always do. You take any kind of article, any kind of piece, anything, and you break it down into bits, facts and opinions. And you don't just drop the opinions because they're not facts. But when we're leading in a train of thought and how best to approach a situation, that's what we always do. When we're having a conversation with somebody, we don't just discard their opinions because we don't agree with them or because we don't understand them. We meet in the middle of the facts and then we respect their opinions. That's what we do. We respect what they have to say. We take on board what they have to say. Don't just discard it because you think it's absurd. Take it on board. You have something to learn from everyone and everything. And it's always the best way to be. Follow the facts, but respect the opinions. Copyright G. Aiden. Knowledge is mental health. Knowledge is MH and TT. Well, yeah, I believe that's what I meant when I said that. Knowledge is power. Age-old thing. That's what that means for me. Is that the more that you know, the more you're informed. When I got sick with coronavirus, most of the reason why I was fine is because I took the time to know about what was going to happen to me and to rationalize it as to the cause and effect. The more you know, the less instability it's going to cause you because you'll be prepared. Now, we're at 20 minutes, but I'm going to break that rule and stretch to 30 as I go into my rules. So we're following the rules. What are my rules? The rules I've been tweeting since day dot, and I'm going to say them again. They've recovered. They are basically the bits of lockdown health. But I'm going to say the 5 rules. Be fair when shopping. Like, these are positive advice, by the way. Be fair when shopping. You're going out there, be fair. Shop how you would expect for people to shop around you. Do you know what I mean? Mind them, mind yourself. Buy only when we say buy what you need, we don't just mean like buy the bare minimum, like so many people are trying to suggest. We're trying to say buy in the amounts that you would expect and respect other people to have. If you see something and it's the last one, think to yourself, do you really need it? Because someone else might need it more than you if it's the last one. Keep your eating, sleeping, and exercise routines. I cannot stress how important this is to an immune system, how important this is fundamentally to anybody's lifestyle at all. Find a routine for your eating and your sleeping and exercise and stick to it. It is what every animal on this planet does except for us. And it's for a reason. The more, why do you think that we have doses of medicine? And we take them at precise points of hours and installations because our body learns. Once it has a routine, it adapts to it. And the more that you mess up your routines and have instabilities in sleep and stuff, the more it comes back to bite you because your body can't take having to constantly release different chemicals and deal with certain reactions all the time. Especially now, in times of great stress and depression, when we're stuck inside and stuff, it can be very easy through because of depression or just general loss of time to break routines. You know, to be staying awake all hours of the night because you ain't got much to do, to not be eating because you're depressed or because you have it emotional, or to stop exercising because you've been sick for 14 days and you're not sure how to bounce back. The exercise thing, though, seems to be combated quite well. Mixed activities, that's 3 rules, by the way. 1, 2, no, that's 2 rules. So third rule, mixed activities between couch, potato and active. I won't go into it, otherwise I'll be doing the whole lockdown video, but the idea is that we're not just doing active stuff. We're not just sitting at home watching a DVD, we're mixing them up. The more you mix them up, the more fun life's going to be for you. Don't just run around and do it till you're tired, otherwise your muscles are going to start aching, you're going to be tired. Sit down, watch something, read a book, play Monopoly, draw something, like there's so many things you can do sitting down that's going to challenge you mentally, or that's just going to let you rest and unwind. There's nothing wrong with watching some TV so you can stop thinking for a bit. Great. Internet, again, is not probably the best way for you to be spending your sit down time. Be on there, interject on something, but don't stay there, which is going to be hard because I know you Instagrammers are going to be popping. They're going to be popping for the gram. Beware of internet addiction. I'm not even going to go into it. I've emphasized it for like this whole thing. So yeah, just beware of internet addiction. And rule number 5, talk about stress. Mental health 101. Don't need to press it. You'll all be doing it automatically, but just keep trying to do it. Eventually we can close up when we don't feel like people care about what we're saying, or we feel like we should be pressing ourselves on somebody. This is a time to open up. It's a difficult time for people. Especially with the media and the government make it seem far more uncertain than it probably is going to be. Finally, something I want to add right at the end. Art, pictures, videos, songs. Listen, art is the way. Don't let anybody tell you different. When it comes down to education, we have an education system that's complex. Philosophy, psychology, business, economy. But listen, at the heart of human beings, art is the soul. Art is the spiritual. Anything arty is awesome. People have been drawing rainbows, saying thank you to the NHS, right? Beautiful. Never mind the rant on NHS and whether it's good or bad perspectives. Beautiful art. People drawing stuff. People dancing stuff. People exercising. People sharing videos on acting stuff. Like, the amount of art has been absolutely phenomenal, and I love people for it. I love you guys so much for it. And nothing, for example, with me, nothing has moved people more profoundly than me and Sam. Music. Art is the best way of expressing oneself and enveloping oneself in all things awesome. And so that's that. Now I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I've got 5 minutes until this cuts out. So I think I'm going to do this bit first, and then I'll do this bit first. So First of all, I'm going to end this up with the Pexel props. So my images that I used, I never, ever, ever create media without giving everybody the recognition they deserve. And all the pictures that you saw or didn't see in the end were from people on Pexels.com. Pexels.com is a place where you can get free images to use, made by the artists themselves, giving them a shout out. Generally speaking, they give an option to give Patreon to them or to give them donations. But I thought I'd go ahead and just write them all up there. I'll put them into the description, obviously, because you're probably not going to be able to see them with the lighting. But I thought I'd give them a shout, or at least give them the space they deserve. I'm not being paid for anything. There's no advertising involved. I'm just being nice, because I do believe people deserve credit, and I don't think enough people get credit where they're due. So yeah, all the images, apart from the ones that I got from the ones I've given you the internet thingy for, and my Corona for Summers, I make Corona for Summers logo, are from Pexels.com. And thanks for the people who gave us those images. Again, I love your art. Same thing, different voice. And there I am. At I am hyphen. That's the letter I and the number 3 for an E. That's where I am at the moment. And there's gonna be a different Twitter coming out and a different YouTube channel. In case in case I don't do any more YouTube channels on this. YouTube videos on this. There's a reason why. I'm not going to say nothing on it other than, obviously, I've told you that I do music. So, and there is actually a song I made about coronavirus. It's a rough copy on Twitter. Don't watch it too soon because I've got to remaster it now that I've got the camera. But yeah, there's my handle. It's really weird promoting social media for myself because, like I say, I've been off social media for about 5-6 years. Like, I just left it, so like telling people to go do stuff, very strange. And so yeah, like, we're gonna do one more video after this one now, which is gonna be just basically a conclusion and a brief mention about what's coming. A brief mention of what's coming next, which is vaccines are on the way, suggestions of vaccines, and then I'll end it the way I always do. So thanks for sticking around. This was the long one. Have yourself another rest, or do something really nice and arty before you watch the next one. I encourage you. I hope that it wasn't too negative. Going through these questions and all these reflections and updates. I do believe in fair discussion. It has been quite a negative atmosphere, though, unfortunately, as far as feedback has gone. But we'll cover that more in the next video, which will only be, a very quick 5, maybe 10 minutes, depending on how much I ramble. But thanks for watching.